Hello, Nick. How are you?
Good, Doug. How are you?
All right, thanks. So, what are the new digs like? What's the gym like over there?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome, Doug. It's really impressive setup. It's eye catching. Right when you come in, you're like, whoa, and every part of it is good. We used the film room today for the first time. That's impressive as well. Obviously, the two courts, the weight room, everything, locker rooms. It's been very, very well done, and we're very appreciative of it.
Just on another subject, you got a bunch of new guys on your team like Aaron Baines and DeAndre, Alex. And I know the basketball is the basketball, new terminology. You figure that stuff out. What does a coach have to do to get personalities to kind of mesh into a new group?
Well, I think the biggest thing that for me, Doug, is it's kind of a two-way street. I need to get to know them, right, and they need to get to know me. What I need to get to see what they can do, and then maybe try to notch that up a few notches, and then they need to get to know me and what I'm expecting of them, or what we are as a coaching staff expecting them, or what our team's expecting of them. And that's really it. It's just kind of a feeling out process for a little bit. But I would say this: those three guys you mentioned, the guys have been around a little bit, right? Have some time in the league, and I think they've both been really good as far as picking things up and going out and playing with effort, and contributing. So that's good.
But how about the other stuff, like the interaction in the locker room and on the bus and on the plane? That must take time. And is there anything you can do to sort of encourage that? Because the core group has been around for a long time. Now they got to welcome in key guys who are different people.
Well, I mean, I guess there's some things I can do, Doug. I tell our big guys that, if they want to fit in, they could start by doing a lot of dirty work for Kyle and Fred, like screening and getting them open and creating shots for them and things like that. I mean, I think that always goes a long way of building a quick friendship, with that kind of stuff. And with DeAndre, who you also mentioned, is he does a lot of little things that help the team win, right? He guards and he cuts and he passes and that kind of stuff. And like Malachi, we talked about this last week, he just kind of comes in, they look at a rookie and survey him for a few days. And then, a couple of days later, Fred's taking him to the gym with him because he sees he's getting competitive and he's a worker and wants to get better. And then they start kind of mentoring him, the veteran guys stuff. So just things like that, I think, Doug.
Hey, Nick, have fun in Tampa. And I hear your new office is big. You tell us your new office is really big.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, Doug.
Well, Coach of the Year, exposure deserves a new contract and all that jazz.
Thanks, Dougie.
See you, Doug.
Next question will go to Ed from the Tampa Bay Times.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? I was wondering if you had seen the pictures of the court that got put down yesterday at Amalie Arena, and just kind of, for players, even seeing the branding, a court, their logo around an arena, even if it's not theirs, does that help to kind of, maybe feel a little bit more comfortable, even though they're different surroundings?
Well, I'm sure it does. I haven't seen it yet, but I think we're going to go over there tomorrow and hold practice so we can get one in, and then maybe a shoot around on the game day. Just look around, right? New surroundings and get a look around. But I think I think it's nice, just watching the games I've been watching on TV of other teams to see, each team's home courts again, right? I think it's nice. It's better than seeing, the one court in the bubble. Makes it feel a little closer to normal, right? Even though it isn't, but it does. So I think that's kind of the point between that getting back in the arenas is trying to get some of the home court feel back. But I look forward to seeing it. I hear positive things about the arena and it's our home court now. So I'm looking forward to it.
Great. And Nick, obviously, Friday's game is going to be, you're only going to have a few thousand fans in the stands there on Friday, but it's the first time you'd be playing in front of any fans in quite a while. I mean, do you think that'll be different? If you guys, just because it's been so long, since you've had fans in the stands.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it, right? I think it's big part of basketball, right? The energy the fans bring, and I know it's a small number, but we certainly are looking forward to it, and more importantly, hoping that number can grow here quickly, right? As hopefully things improve, with COVID. But again, I think it's in Charlotte in the preseason the other night, there was no fans, obviously, and didn't seem that much of a difference, right? Once the game gets going and there's some intensity out there and all that stuff, I thought the players were playing hard and all that kind of stuff. So we are looking forward to the fans, but we kind of got to play them however we got to play them right now, and that's what we intend to do.
Great. Thanks, Nick.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ed. Next, we'll go to Michael Grange.
Hey, Nick. Doug kind of touched on this, but having seen the facility they built out for you there at the hotel, does it match your expectations, your specifications? Does it feel like a place you guys can get good work done?
Yeah. First of all, blew my expectations away. It really does when you first walk in. It's amazing that they can do what they've done here in this space. I don't know. They just everything just looks so great. First of all, and then second of all, we got everything we need, right? We got some courts, we got the weight room, we got locker rooms, we got great working spaces for our staff. Video room's great. I think the training room's big and expansive. So yeah, everything, like always though, with our organization, they've always given us everything we need to be successful.
Appreciate it, Nick. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Michael. We'll go to Eric Corrine.
Hey, Nick. How's it going?
I'm great, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing stupendously. Thank you.
Good.
As always.
That's a notch up and splendid. You're usually
Yeah, no,
splendid.
I'm trying to come up with different adjectives for you. I'm sure I'll cap out at some point.
Good one.
Got the thesaurus open. I'm just wondering with Pat, in the bubble, it sort of seemed like he was coming back to play, and then he was out of the bubble and had to get the procedure eventually. Is there any concern about that happening again, or do you really expect him to be ready to go, if not this Friday, or if not even Wednesday, like sometime soon?
Yeah, we're not expecting those complications again, Eric. So, I think that's a bit of good news. It is a procedure that he's still working his way back from.
Yeah.
He's out there on the court, and it's just not quite time to let him fully engage in full speed activities of a game. And again, I don't really have a timetable. It's hopefully it's not too long away, Eric. And how much I value him and how much I like him, and we need him. So I hope it's short and we can get him out there.
Yeah. On another note, that was already touched on, the announcement about fans being in the arena came out yesterday, and I know it has to be exciting. When you hear that's happening, I assume you just have faith that they're doing it as safely as possible, and it's the responsible thing to do. And where does that faith come from, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I like all of us, we keep the safe part of it, at the first and foremost, right? And yeah, I'm just confident that they are taking all the measures and protocols and things that need to be done to make it safe. It's got to be done. It's got to be done that way.
Thank you, Nick. Stay safe, and have a good rest of the day.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. We'll go to William Liu from Yahoo Sports.
Hey Nick, Eric just asked about obviously Pat, and then you talked about how he's going to be an important piece when he comes back healthy. I'm just looking at the second unit right now. You seem to have a lot of guards available, and it's a good problem, I guess, if it isn't a problem at all. But how do you sort of see it shaking out? Because you got Matt, you got Norm, you got Pat, TD, Flynn, even Bembry, I guess. I mean, how are you gonna find minutes for everybody?
I'm not going to be able to, for all those guys. That's for sure. I think that, I'm continuing to evaluate it, and I will probably have to tinker around a little bit. I would say that two guys we didn't know at all have played very, very well, in Flynn and Bembry, right? They've knocked on the door here for sure, just because they've played so well. And it's one of those situations. You can't play everybody. You can't play. You just can't. And it just messes up your rotations, because Kyle and Fred are going to play heavy minutes at those two positions. Norm's probably going to play a lot more 3 than 2 this year, just because of the configuration of who we are, which is fine. OG is going to probably bump up to other positions as well, right? So I would imagine Bembry plays more 3 too, just again to bump that direction a little bit.
Okay. And I guess maybe this is not a question necessarily for the coach, more maybe for the front office. Do you have concerns that might be a little bit small or undersized, especially if you are bumping guys like Norm to 3 or Bembry to 3 or anything like that?
Not really. I think that, you look at it and you think it's certainly a valid question and a thing to look at. Again, I never really feel small yet, right? And it may happen in the second unit on certain nights, if it is, that way. I mean, we don't feel small because Fred and Kyle play so big. That's one thing. And I would imagine one of those guys probably shifts to part of the second unit. Right. Okay. So again, I think they can cover some of the, either Fred or Kyle can guard most 2s in this league and even 3s. Right. So I'm not overly concerned. No.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. Last questions today will go to Aaron Rose from SI.com.
Hey, Nick. Sort of another weird question for you. The other night we saw Pascal. It seemed like he was playing well, very efficient, passing a lot. It seems like this year, talking to Coach Finch, that's something you guys are looking for him to do, passing out of double teams and stuff. What's the difference between being a facilitator and being sort of hesitant or tentative when you're going up with it? I guess it seems like that's a balancing act, and maybe it's just results. How are you going to judge that?
Well, I think that first of all, that was a game plan adjustment really the other night, because they were sending so many bodies at him when he tried to drive, and I give him credit for passing out of those so willingly and doing it well, right? I think that's kind of the scenario you find yourself in this league a little more lately. When you're a scorer, teams are going to say, okay, let's hold down the other guys, and this guy's going to get his anyway. Or some teams are saying, this guy's not beating us tonight, right? And on those nights, you got to become a facilitator. There's just no way to fight the game, right? So I think it's a part of a development for him to continue. We've been practicing it a lot with him, right, to try to and it's not just him. It's the other guy's spacing. It's the other guy's cutting, getting to areas where that we can hurt them, because we should. We always say if you put 2 or 3 on the ball, you've done your job as a scorer.